So I'm actually starting this video on the road. I'm actually working on another video, and in the middle of that, of course, because I can't focus on one thing, definitely not good. Ooh, there's a lake. Browsing the Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this pop up. It was 2 computers for $200, and reading them, they said they're not tech savvy, they're not sure what works or doesn't work, they added some parts to it, and they just couldn't figure things out. I'll post pictures up there, and one thing you'll notice is that on one of them, the motherboard is just like sitting there, so not sure if they tried to do that. The other one looks somewhat complete. I see a hard drive, I see an M.2 in one of them. You know, I'm just doing the whole zoom in action, and I'm seeing some parts that could be good. They wanted 200, I lowballed at 100, and the reason why I lowballed on that is because I don't know if they work. Either everything is bad or they both work. So I offered 100, they agreed. They said, yeah, if you could come pick it up. I'm like, absolutely, I'll be there in 10-15 minutes. Now I know what you're saying, junk, risk, I know, I get it, but that's kind of what the fun is. I mean, it takes money to make money, you gotta gamble a little bit, and those are the chances that you take. I'm fairly confident that, you know, I'm able to get this stuff working, unless it's just a straight up short, water damage. It's the risk that you take. If we're able to get both those computers running for $100 for 2 computers, we could flip them maybe for about 3 to 4, depending on the specs, what I need to it. So I mean, there is money to at least double my profits. If they don't work, there might be enough spare parts to put another build that I have lying around the garage. I do need some extra parts. I see DDR4 memory. I zoomed in on the pictures using the whole zoom action. I see M.2. I see a storage drive. I see a graphics card. I see a lot of stuff that I definitely need and can use. So that's one way to do it. Can we probably sell off the parts and at least recoup a little bit? Maybe. Not sure which way we're gonna go until we get there. Is that a dog? Let's zoom in. That dog is just chilling hardcore. I don't think that's safe, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, he went back inside. So let's get there, let's get the parts, and see what happens. So we made it to the Walmart. Those are the nice people. I think I got a good deal, so let's show you what I got before we get back on the road. I mean, is it really on the road if you only live like 10 minutes away? So we have a whole computer, Ryzen 7 Action. It's a Dell. I know how much everybody loves the Dells. This case is just missing everything. That's not cool. At least I got a new storage bin. We got a graphics card, which is a 1030. Those are actually nifty to keep. The bummer thing is exposed pins. I don't know. CPU. Ah, sweet. We got an i7-9700F. So this could be good if this motherboard is good. They said they tried to fix it. They didn't know what's wrong with it. It was given to them. Not tech savvy. Sometimes it's just simple as just the wrong pins. We got power cables, other types of weird cables. We got memory, a caddy. This right over here is the B450MA. So cool, complete computer. I'm not going to take this off because, well, I don't want the CPU just flopping around, because typically, yeah, they get stuck to the heatsink. So not a bad haul for $100. A lot of usable parts. We could potentially have 3 systems ready to rock and roll. So I'm excited. Let's get back to the house and let's go through this. So potentially not a bad haul. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in here. This case is definitely going to be junk, but I do see a drive in there, potentially a good power supply. So I don't know. We'll see what it is. This I'm not expecting. Well, this I wasn't expecting as far as the deal. The picture didn't really give me this, but it's a complete computer. It's got a graphics card. I mean, Inspiron 5675. I'll have to look that up and see the specs. And then these two motherboards. We got memory. Yeah, a lot of potential here. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put a pause on that. For you guys, it'll be a couple of seconds, but for me, it might be a couple of days, hours, weeks, sometimes even months. I don't think we're going to go that far. But I got another video that I'm shooting. I need to finish that up. Got a build going on. So we'll come back and we'll see if any of this stuff works. So now I know I said I was going to get to this one, these computer parts and everything in a couple of days, weeks, month, but things happen. And things happened and escalated very quickly. So this is what happened. If you notice, I'm missing a computer. That's right. That Dell. It was an Inspiron 5635 or 75. It was the one with the Ryzen 7 1700. Had an RX 580. Pretty good specs on it, considering what I paid for it. But yeah, it's not there. So I popped the computer down, unloaded it from my SUV right there. Went to go finish working on another video, and at the corner of my eye, I saw something move. Freaked me out. I came over, looked over here, and there was a roach crawling right out of the computer. This computer was only sitting in the garage for probably, maybe at most, 5 minutes, and that's probably 5 minutes too long. I saw it, I grabbed it, immediately chucked it out into the yard, opened it up, and it was a horrible roach infestation. There's actually a dedicated video just on that computer, what happened, the grossness, and everything. So, needless to say, we don't have that. But we were able to salvage some parts from it. Got an RX 580. Got some memory. Got the 1 terabyte drive, which all that works. Cooler, and yeah, that was about it. Oh, and the Ryzen 7 1700. But the motherboard didn't work. Unfortunate. So now we have all this stuff over here. I've already checked it. No signs of roach infestation. So everything looks, feels pretty good. So let's kind of see what we got. Now this is a Caddy Purifio, Merchtech, whatever. We have this for extra USB action. This is a GT 1030, which I'm very excited, believe it or not, or happy about this, because it is good to have a graphics card that you don't need to have supplemental power. I need this, something like this, to test. I don't have any. I don't know what I did with them, but it is what it is. This, I kind of took it apart, like I said, just to make sure that we didn't have a roach infestation. This is a Ryzen 5 4500. It's the Prime B450MA. Maybe it has BIOS support for it. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. They said they couldn't get this stuff working. Maybe this stuff is no good. And the more I tinker with this, the more I'm realizing this might not have been a good deal. But it is what it is. 16 gigs of the Mushkin memory. This is, I'll have to look at this, PC 2666. Yeah. And we got this one. So this is a Gigabyte B365 HT3. I already cleaned this up a little bit just to kind of make it more presentable. The pins don't appear to be bent. I don't see anything that's broken, so that is actually a good sign. And where is it? We got the CPU right over here. So now the CPU is a i7 9700F. So if that works and that works, we pretty much are on the road to 2 good systems. Popping the RX 580 in there. Could be a win. And then I have some extra graphics cards to pop it in. I think I have some cases lying around, so we're in the right direction. This, well, I was really hoping they had the rest of the stuff. I think the only thing that we might be able to salvage out of this is the power supply. I'm not sure what brand it is. So I think what I'm going to do is, for the sake of space and practicality, let's get the power supply. There's also a drive in here. Let's strip this out and toss this case. So now let's get this out. For those of you who are asking, this is a Craftsman. It's the power screwdriver. You get it at Lowe's. It was like 30 bucks. It just speeds up things. this power supply is ATX GP. I've never heard of this power supplies, and I'll show it to you in a sec once I get this rat nest of wires all pulled out. This thing looks like it was never really used. Do the smell test. I don't smell roaches, which, like I said, I've checked all this stuff, but yeah. We'll put a power supply tester on it, and we'll see if this is any good. And finally, what is in door number, well, what's this? All right. We have a Seagate Barracuda, the 500 gig flavor. Hey, it passed. It's doing better than I did in high school. Oh, we got SSD action. Yeah, 128 gigs, but, you know, it's good enough for the girls I date. And is there anything else in here worth saving, salvaging? These are Molex 3-pin action. I got plenty of those. Alright, so in the trash, this case goes. So let's go ahead and test this power supply. Let's find out if it's any good. Choose my famous power supply tester. So this is the CPU. 4-pin, 4-pin. And this one is a 6-pin. Alright, let's plug in my 24-pin. Let's fire up. Alright, everything looks good. We're within range of everything, so yep, I will take it. So the power supply is good. Let's go ahead and try this B450M-A motherboard by the Asus. And like I said, it's the Ryzen 5 4500. So if this works, that would be very good. And I'm going to be using this power supply that works, and hopefully I don't regret it. I'm throwing this RX 580 just because I know it works. And that came out of the Roach computer, so it's got to be good, right? Power button's right there. See, turn this thing on. See what happens. Well, that's not good. Maybe I plugged that in wrong. Let's try that. Yep, that's what it was. Now, do we get a display? Come on. I think this thing's got to do that memory training that AMD does. Yes. Ryzen 5 4500, 6 core, 16 gigs of DDR4 3200. Awesome. Pretty much if you get a post like this, you're mostly good to go. Yes, we got to install Windows and stress test it, but we're off to a good start. On to the next system. So can we get 2 for 2? So this is the B365 HD3, and I probably should have tested that GT 1030, but it's fine. I've checked the pins. The pins look good. They don't look bent, so that's a good sign. And I'll use the memory from the other computer. And also we have the 16 gig stick from the Roach PC that was no good. Alright. Looking at the CPU, I don't see anything damaged. I'm just going to wipe it down with some alcohol. So let's pop in the CPU. Match up the Legend of Zelda triangles. Down here. So we're going to pop in this memory because we know it works. My rule of thumb is if the memory works with AMD, it's definitely going to work with Intel because AMD is so picky when it comes to memory. So on a rather unfortunate thing, I don't have any stock Intel coolers. When did that happen? I don't know. So we're just gonna MacGyver this, you know, put this together. All I need to do is just see if I get a post. Further testing will be at a later date. All right, power switch. Pop in the legendary RX 580. Now, like I said, this is just for preliminaries. All right, let's fire it up. Oh yeah, I always forget that. Of course we'll not get a post because, well, I don't have this thing plugged in. Now this has the debug, and from what I'm gathering, it says boot. Not sure what that means. Let's turn it off. Turn it back on. Hey, there we go. All right, everything seems to be working. I don't have any plugged in. It's already getting ridiculously hot, but everything works. Awesome. Let me turn this off really quick because, well, there's really no contact there. But that is awesome. We get a post with this motherboard. The power supply works. Score. So let me clean this up. Let's recap this deal and talk about a few things when you're buying used. And I forgot to check real quick. The GT 1030. It gives me a screen, no artifacts, so that works too. Awesome. So let's review what we got. We got a Ryzen 5 4500, 16 gigs of DDR4. We got an i7 9700F, a GT 1030, an RX 580, a 1 terabyte Paracuda, 500 gig, 128 gig SSD, and possibly the Ryzen 7 1700. I'm pretty sure the CPU is still good. I'm holding on to this motherboard because if I'm able to test it and find out that that CPU is bad, then this motherboard might be good. And I mean, it works. And of course, a power supply. Was this a good deal? So for $100, yeah, it was. But what it cost me, the headache and the roach infestation issue, not worth it. Fortunately, these work. I'm very confident that once we pop some Windows on it, get some drivers, they might even have an activation on them. We should be good to go with these. And yeah, we could pop them in a computer, probably build 2 computers, about $300 each. So there's money to be made on here. Plus we got parts, and yeah, it was a pretty good haul. But man, that roach infestation was intense. So now, let me tell you what I think would happen. I think they had that Dell, that Inspiron. They had a roach issue. The computer just stopped working. It shorted out. And even going by the ad listing, they said they bought parts and they got parts to kind of try to fix it. They just couldn't figure it out, and they gave up. They swapped CPUs, thinking that that CPU went bad with this one. Yeah, that didn't work. And then maybe they just got this as trade, or I don't know. But either way, we got 2 motherboards, pretty much a complete system, storage option and everything. I really thought that this had a M.2, that Inspiron, but I guess not. Maybe they took it off. I don't know what they did with it, but I guess what I saw in the picture was this. Either way, it's good to have extra parts, but man, sometimes a used part hustle is a gamble and is not worth it. Now, was this worth it? Yes or no? You be the judge. I think most people probably would say, and I would agree with them, that this wasn't worth it with the roach infestation. That's my fault. I should have checked it better. I just, you know, good deal, threw it in there, and it was like, okay, we're ready to go. I should have opened it up. And normally I do, but then again, most computers I buy or used stuff I buy, they have acrylic or glass panels so you can see, but I didn't do that. But I've learned I definitely will be opening up every computer I see and make sure I don't run into that issue. And if you're wondering, and I don't know if I said it in this video or the other video, I have sprayed my house. I've sprayed the perimeter, even though it wasn't nowhere near the house and it was only in the garage for maybe less than 5 minutes. Still taking necessary precautions, as I don't want to deal with that issue. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Do you think it was worth it? Are these parts any decent? I know I could build some decent computers. Would you have taken the gamble? Or would you have not done like what I did and actually been more careful and checked the computer? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not. And as always, we'll see what else I find. Yeah. And whatever I come up with. Yeah. This was tough.